as Jack, were we talking about this yesterday? We've been drinking a lot, and did I think? I think it was you that I talked about you sort of not struggle necessarily, but know what it's like to have a normal life, and then having the success that you've had, where you gradually get wealthier and wealthier every single day. You sort of enjoy it that much more, and it doesn't change you, right? Like where somebody just wins the lotto like overnight, like it runs the risk of changing somebody, and it doesn't take that much to change. Like now, living where I live, like it does change you a little bit, but I never forget what it was like to work, the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
On that business topic, has Jack the businessman started to look outside of gaming at different opportunities? Do you have a manager? How does that work for you?
Yeah, I mean, the goal is always to. I think that again, back to Loaded, they are so big and so good at what they do that I feel like the start of my opportunity still goes with them. I also, I want to begin to branch out more. Opportunities have come up that I've turned down. Just like any business thing, there's moments where you have to realize, like, if I'm going to do so much for this company, for this percent in it, this stake, unless I really believe in it, do I want to put that much time into it where they might not pay off, And right now, with how much is going on, with where I'm at in my life, it's like I really want to make sure I'm into a product.
Yeah.
I find way more interest in like, hey, here's an idea we have. I want to get into it with a few of my friends that I know are good at pushing this stuff and pushing a brand forward.
Yeah.
And let's build something great. Like that's what I see in the next couple of years is like me. We have no idea what it is, but me, you, Matt, this person, we have a great idea and we leverage our smarts in this industry, the people we have around us, our ability to handle ourselves in business to launch something that we are all passionate and excited about. What that is yet, I don't know, but I am almost certain for a fact that that's something that will happen in my life in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
And I know we've spoken about it, but like I think I'm very confident to say that I'd hope that you'd want to go into a business with me, and
Absolutely.
I know for a fact that I'd want to go into business with you. That I know it'll come up because I think that we're both that we would attract the right people to help build this thing.
Undoubtedly so. So for example, me, I'm a fisherman. I like to paint graffiti and I like to play video games. Those are my passions. What's aside from video games? What makes Jack? Jack.
So obviously, as you mentioned, you like to play video games. I love eating.
Yeah.
Like I think that one place I would get into is like a food
a food cooking show.
Yeah,
reviews.
or like a beverage thing, something like that. Like get into that type of industry because like it's something that I'm passionate about, and once you get someone on the line, like once you get a business where someone loves your drink or loves your food, your snack, they then are a customer for years.
Yeah.
Because they're going to want that snack,
Absolutely.
want that food, and they're going to consistently always be purchasing it. Which, from a financial side, that's great, but also just like I would love to have my own snack or my own drink that I'm like really excited to always drink and eat and is good, which would be awesome. Like imagine if you told 15-year-old me that was having LANs in my parents' basement on Thanksgiving for 2 nights in a row that I would have like my own snack that like would be the snack to have at like a LAN, or that'd be so cool.
Like a jerky, like chips.
I fucking love jerky. I don't even know. I haven't put any thought into it.
Yeah.
I haven't put it, but yeah, that's like what I think of. Other things I'm interested in, like, I just love, when you mentioned like money, like the overnight money changing someone, I think less of what's changed me is the money, but more of just like getting older. Like I've gone out of like my early 20s, which is when I started this, where you feel like you're that invincible side. Whereas now, and yeah, I'm only 26, sure, but I do feel the mindset that you have when you're in your late high school into college of invincibility or immortality, like nothing will faze me, let's go out. That's kind of faded away a bit for me. And as you feel more like, wow, drinking is, even at 26, hangovers feel that much worse than when you're 21. Or I have pains, a little bit more pains than I had when I was in my peak at 22, 23.
Yeah.
And it's minuscule, but it's enough to notice.
Yeah.
Especially as someone that I'm like really in tune with my body due to like my anxiety. So like if something's a little bit off, I think it's the end of the world. So I can tell when my body's a little bit off. But yeah, I don't know. I think that it's funny how you mentioned like the overnight change thing. Like I definitely like living a more elevated lifestyle. I love that I'm able to, if I'm fly home 3 times a year, it's not a question on if I'm booking myself coach or first class. Like I work hard to make these sacrifices. I'm going to book myself first for that 6-hour flight to go see my family, you know? So I do really love those sides of things. I just feel like as a person, I kind of know what I like. And like, for example, I went like on a terrible hike yesterday with Maddie. Yeah. Nearly died on it. And like, she's like, that was so exhilarating for me. And I love that. And I'm like, hey, listen, you're dating an indoor kid.
Yeah.
I like the inside.
Yeah.
I like being safe.
Yeah.
My dream day is like the pool.
Yeah.
Doing this, getting good food, hanging out. I'll go on hikes. I do enjoy hiking.
Yeah.
But I don't
Not rock
enjoy,
climbing.
I don't enjoy where I'm like, I look over the edge and I'm like it was like,
yeah,
I was on this edge and this was the other side.
I'm gonna pause you right there because they don't know what we're talking about. So when I asked him what he'd like to do as a pastime, I was gonna say, so do you still like rock climbing? Because 2 days ago, or yesterday, he went on a hike with his girlfriend and some of her work friends.
Yeah, she's climbing Mount Whitney, which is like the tallest
North American
peak that you can in a couple weeks. So they've been doing practice. And I thought as a good boyfriend, you know, she asked me to go, I'd go. And I already knew it was going to be a tough hike at 7.5 miles. I've never hiked more than like 4 or 5 in my life. So even just a normal hike, a normal medium hike would be a lot for me. But the first 2 miles of this hike was apparently considered a rocky scramble, which they didn't do this hike before. They didn't know the extent of what it was.
A rocky scramble.
Yeah, it sounds like something you'd get at a bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
Maybe get some cheese on it. That sounds great to me right now.
Bell peppers.
Yeah, a little cappuccino on the side. Salt and pepper and ketchup, baby. And so we start this hike, and the first 2 miles is considered hard and a rocky scramble. And man, Hector, I nearly lost it up there. I mean, it was terrible. Were
you with them, or did they leave you behind?
No, I was with them.
Okay.
I'm in Ultra Boosts.
Yeah.
They have the hiking sticks, hiking gear, experience. I've done maybe 5 hikes in my life. I've never broken a bone in my life. Baseball is my favorite sport.
Yeah.
I didn't play football because I was afraid of the thunder and lightning when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Because there was thunder and lightning at a football practice. I had anxiety when I was younger. It's hurt me a little bit more now at this point, I think due to COVID. I was at the top of one of these things halfway through the rocky scramble, a mile in to elevation and up and down and like sliding down a rock like this, like trying to be like, whoa, got it.
Yeah.
And like you're being on an edge where like I'm kind of like this, like holding like this, and I like look over the other side and there's just a fucking fall.
Yeah. How
and
how
not like it's like, but it's like it's enough of an incline where you can't. If you start rolling, you're not stopping unless you hit a fucking tree.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I got way too much going for me to be doing this shit right now.
You thought that's the first thing you thought about?
Oh my God damn. Oh man. And that's part of being in relationships with people. And I love the differences that Maddie and I have. I love that I can bring her into new experiences and she can bring me into new.
Yeah.
But yesterday was a perfect example of, and we obviously talked about it as any couple should, is like that was not setting me up for success.
Yeah.
And she didn't know how tough the hike would be.
Yeah.
But I did that hike at 5:15 yesterday. By 8:30, I was like miserable for the rest of my day.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to see a single person, talk to a single individual. I didn't come downstairs once.
We didn't see you, yeah.
I just sat there and played World of Warcraft and numbed myself by eating food and needed like a reset moment because I was fucking shook.
I wasn't here when you I was downstairs when you got here.
Yeah.
But when I went upstairs, both Shibby and Matt were like, yo, he was like shook. Because I went up there and you were just like normal. I'm like, you good, Jackie boy? You almost die? I'm like, did you die? Just like joking around. But I didn't know that you were like legit going through it because it was like that was traumatic of an experience.
Like for Maddie, she can't even believe that was like considered the scariest thing I've done in my life because she's had just more crazy life experiences and opportunities she had through her old job and some of the stuff that she's done on travel. Like for me, it's just not something that interests me. I'm not someone who's a physical risk taker. Right? Like, I just very much value my body's health and not having a broken bone.
Yeah.
I've never been into skiing, never been to snowboarding. I'm not someone who needs to off-road bike. I'm not someone who needs to hike and rock climb and do these crazy things. It's just never interested me. It never will interest me.
Yeah.
And yesterday was like, I was at a moment where I was like, I can't even be saved by a helicopter right now. Like, where the fuck am I?
Yeah.
I was like, if there was an escalator that brought my ass down this mountain, it just like turned to the right and it's an escalator, it would still be too much.
Yeah. So at what point did you decide? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And what happened? Do you tell Maddie? He's like, Maddie, I love you. I'll see you later. I'm fucking.
So we finished like the 2 miles of rocky trek. My adrenaline was going for the full hour and 15 minutes, hour and 20 minutes. 2 miles an hour, 20 minutes. Well, that's because it was 2,000 elevation gain during this 2,000 foot elevation gain because you're going so steep. So in 2 miles, you do 2,000 feet in elevation.
Yeah.
It's under 2 miles. It's like 1.77. And we finished this. And finally, we get to the rocky part, and it become more of like a normal hike where you're walking, stepping over some things. Okay, maybe a little bit of rocks here. I'm passing missing person signs, like 3 or 4 of them, $50,000 reward, $10,000 reward. I'm like, where the fuck am I right now?
Yeah.
Like, look at me. Look at who I am.
Yeah.
And I'm getting this, and now my adrenaline's gone. So that feeling of post-adrenaline where your body is just like in like, when your shields are out in Halo, and it's like ding, ding, ding. It's like, my body was in like the ding, 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 and needed the, which was all day yesterday mode. And I'm now walking, and like my fucking legs feel like jelly because I was just like, like holy shit, like on the edge of this thing. My hands are covered in dirt because I was like this on the edges of climbing, and we're walking and we're doing this hike, and now we get like another mile in, and we like turn this corner as we're going back up towards a peak, and I like turn and look, and there's like an overlook, and I like see a woman up there taking a photo, and like I'm still in mode of like fight or flight, get me the fuck out of here, and I'm like, hey, I'm like, is there a road or anything up ahead? Like, how'd you get here? She's like, where did you come from? Because the way that she came to get to that outlook was like the normal path that hikers take on like an easy hiking route.
Yeah.
We came from a fucking mountain. I climbed a fucking mountain. And I'm like, don't go that way. Please, for the sake of yourself. But is there anything up ahead? She's like, there's a parking lot in like a mile and a half. And just like us at the golf course, I was like this, Uber.
Yeah.
I'm like trying to fucking call for an Uber as easy as possible. And for the next like mile, I was just walking, trying to get Ubers. Finally, I got one to connect, and I just left halfway through the hike. The rest of the hike was way easier because it was just that first 2 miles was bad. But it was a learning experience, I think, for the both of us. There will be activities that Maddie will love doing with her friend Sam or friends that enjoy that to that extent.
Yeah.
That will never be me.
Yeah.
But traveling and vacationing and doing those things where there's a good middle ground will always be our success. Maddie loves the idea of like 90 degrees in like a tent in the middle of like the Philippines, like sweating.
Not me.
And I'm like, babe, you can tent as long as I got a 5-star hotel with air conditioning down the road
that I can shower in.
Yeah, like
Take
that will always be me. That is pre-money Jack and post-money Jack.
Yeah.
Like I was young and I was mowing lawns, and I would come inside and be disgusted with how I felt, and like my hands felt dirty. And I understand that hard work and that effort, and it's not a demeaning thing. It's not like a getting your hands dirty is this level. My dad was always like, Jack, you need to make sure you have a good office job or a good paying this job, right? When you're older, because that was just not how I'm wired. Like cleaning the leaves and like the idea of like being dirty. I've just never been that. I shower every day when I wake up, shower every night before bed because I can't go to bed with any dirty feeling of the day.
Yeah.
It's just how I am.
Yeah. I don't shower. Sometimes if it's too hot, obviously in Texas it is, I do shower before I go to bed, but more often than not, I'm just like washing my hands, my arms, and then my face and my hair, like the back of my neck, and then I'm like at least a little bit fresh enough for me to do that.
Yeah.
If it's a heavy day of like doing whatever, like just going outside and you just immediately start sweating, then obviously I'm gonna take a shower. But